You ever wonder why some things feel like they were meant to happen? That certain moments, people, or situations appear out of nowhere, and suddenly, it all makes sense, even if it seems like they came by pure chance. How many times have you found yourself questioning, is this a coincidence, or was this meant to be? We live in a world that thrives on the notion of chance. The daily grind, the fleeting encounters, and the decisions we make, these all seem random, don't they? But what if I told you that there's a deeper current pulling the strings of these random events? That nothing in your life has truly happened by chance, and every encounter, every heartache, every twist in your story has been guiding you to this very moment. Maybe you've been carrying the weight of your past, trying to figure out why things didn't work out the way you expected. Or perhaps you've been stuck in relationships that didn't give you what you wanted, and now you find yourself asking, what's the purpose of all this? I want you to take a moment and breathe. Allow yourself the space to reflect on this truth. Your life is not a series of disconnected events. Each challenge, each connection, every joyful moment and heartbreak, these are not mere accidents. They are pieces of a much larger puzzle, one that we, perhaps unknowingly, piece together as we go along. Carl Jung, the brilliant mind who delved into the mysteries of the human psyche, had something profound to say about this. He believed that nothing in your life happens by accident. In fact, he said that we are all connected by a deeper energy, something beyond our understanding, yet always guiding us. And if we can learn to trust in this force, if we allow ourselves to believe in it, we might just see the purpose behind the chaos. Now, this might sound a bit esoteric at first. Trust me, I get it. The concept of fate or destiny isn't always easy to grasp, especially when you're struggling with a broken heart or feeling lost in a sea of uncertainty. But as we dive deeper into what Jung believed, I promise you'll start seeing things differently. Life has a way of pulling you exactly where you need to be, even when you can't see it at the time. Every single moment is leading you somewhere. Before we go any further, I want to invite you to take a breath and ask yourself, what if everything I've been through has brought me to where I am for a reason? Let that question linger. And when you're ready, take that next step with me. And hey, if this is speaking to you, if you're starting to feel a sense of clarity, I'd love for you to subscribe and like this video. I believe the words here will reach exactly who they need to, and together, we can share this journey. Have you ever felt like you were at a crossroads with a decision that could change everything? The kind of moment when your heart races and your mind floods with doubt. You stand there, in that stillness, unsure whether to step forward or turn back. And yet deep down, something stirs within you, something familiar, almost like an old friend calling you to move, to trust, to leap into the unknown. But how do you know it's the right choice? How can you be sure? This is where Carl Jung's teachings come into play. He didn't just talk about fate or the randomness of life. He spoke of something much more profound: synchronicity. The belief that events, people, and circumstances don't just align by chance, but by a deeper, meaningful connection. To Jung, synchronicity wasn't some abstract idea. It was a powerful force that tied us together, a force that could help us understand our true selves and the unseen threads that bind us to the universe. Imagine this. You're walking down a path in life, and suddenly, a person crosses your path. Maybe you've never seen them before, but the connection feels undeniable. There's something about them, a familiar energy that seems to speak to your soul. Perhaps you don't even understand it at first, but a spark ignites. And as you continue down your journey, you start to notice that your paths keep crossing over and over again until you can no longer ignore it. The universe is trying to tell you something. But here's the thing. We often ignore these moments, chalking them up to coincidence. We're too wrapped up in the noise of life to see what's right in front of us. We dismiss the subtle signs, the quiet whispers, because they don't fit into the tidy boxes of logic and reason we've built around ourselves. And so, we continue on, missing the point, thinking that everything is just a random accident. But what if, just for a moment, we dared to open our eyes? What if we stopped overthinking every detail and allowed ourselves to just trust in the flow of life? What if we accepted that there are no accidents, that every interaction, every challenge, every seemingly insignificant moment was part of a larger design? Jung believed that the universe doesn't waste energy. It speaks to us in ways we may not fully understand, but if we listen closely, we'll hear the truth. You might be wondering, how does this relate to your life right now? Think about it for a second. Have you ever found yourself in a situation that seemed like pure luck, only to realize it led to something life-changing? A conversation that sparked an idea, a chance meeting that turned into a lifelong friendship, a heartbreak that eventually led to healing. These moments aren't just random. They are synchronicities. They are the universe nudging you along the path it's been quietly guiding you on, even when you couldn't see it. But it's not just about the moments of joy or connection. Sometimes, synchronicity shows up in your darkest hours, in the times when you feel lost, when the weight of the world feels unbearable, and you're not sure if you'll ever find your way out. These are the moments when you might be tempted to believe that life is simply cruel, that nothing has meaning, and you're caught in a cruel twist of fate. Yet even then, Jung would argue, the universe is still at work. There's meaning in the pain. There's purpose in the suffering. And even in those moments of despair, the universe is preparing you for something greater. It's a hard truth to swallow, especially when you're standing at the edge of heartbreak, trying to make sense of the chaos. But trust me when I say, there's a reason for it. We can't always see it in the moment, but every piece of our journey is adding up to something bigger than we realize. Jung called this the process of individuation, a journey toward becoming our true selves. And while that journey is deeply personal, it's also deeply interconnected with the world around us. Every experience, every relationship, every heartbreak is part of this process. Each one is like a puzzle piece, and when we look back, we'll see how beautifully they fit together. So, what if instead of running from the tough moments, we leaned into them? What if we stopped trying to control every aspect of our lives and instead allowed ourselves to be guided by something bigger? What if we started trusting that, just as the good things come at the right time, the difficult things are there for a reason too? I want you to take a moment to think about your own life. The times you felt lost, the times you felt abandoned. Have you ever looked back and realized that those moments, painful as they were, led you to something even more profound? Maybe a deeper understanding of yourself. Maybe a relationship that brought you peace. Maybe the courage to let go of something that no longer served you. Now, I know this isn't easy. It's not always easy to trust in the unseen, especially when life feels like it's falling apart. But what if you allowed yourself to believe, just for a moment, that everything is happening for a reason? That even in the pain, there's a gift waiting to be discovered. If this resonates with you, if you're beginning to see the thread that connects all these moments, I'd love for you to stay with me. Take a breath and think about this. Could it be that your life, all its twists and turns, is far from random? Could it be that everything you've gone through is leading you towards something greater than you've ever imagined? Have you ever felt a deep longing inside, a part of you aching to find its place in the world, to understand the purpose behind everything you've been through? There are days when you may feel like a piece of you is missing, like something vital has been lost along the way. You look at your life, the mistakes, the regrets, the brokenness, and you wonder, how can this all fit together? How could this have a purpose? I want you to pause for a second and truly sit with that feeling. The emptiness, the confusion, the heartache. What if I told you that every single one of those emotions, the pain, the fear, the uncertainty, has been guiding you? What if all of it was not meant to defeat you, but to shape you into the person you were always meant to be? Jung believed that we all carry within us a shadow, a part of ourselves that we try to hide, to deny, to push away. It's that side of us we're not proud of. The parts of us we're ashamed of or afraid to face. The shadow is not something to be feared, though. It's not an enemy. It's a teacher. And until we acknowledge it, until we stop running from it, we'll never be able to fully embrace who we are meant to be. When you face your shadow, it's like staring at the broken pieces of your life and asking them, what do you have to teach me? It's uncomfortable, yes. It's painful. But in doing so, you start to see that the pieces you thought were flawed, the experiences you believed were mistakes, are actually integral parts of your journey. They're not separate from you. They are you. They've shaped your story, your heart, and your soul. Imagine the deepest wound you've ever carried, the one you thought would never heal. What if that wound is the very thing that will lead you to your true self? What if, through the pain, you are becoming who you are meant to be? Every scar you bear, every heartbreak you've endured, is a testament to your resilience. You have lived through it all, and you are still standing. Jung said that the only way to truly heal is to embrace all parts of ourselves, not just the light, but also the dark. And while the journey of self-discovery can be difficult, it is also the most rewarding journey you will ever take. It is not the moments of perfection that shape us, but the moments of imperfection, the times when we fall and rise again. Those are the moments when we learn who we really are. Take a moment and reflect on your own life. Think about the times you've tried to avoid your shadow, the parts of you that you've been afraid to confront. What if those are the parts of you that need love the most? What if by accepting them, by acknowledging them, you could finally set yourself free? This is where Jung's philosophy on synchronicity ties everything together. Every relationship, every heartbreak, every triumph, and every fall is not just a random event. They are all pieces of a larger puzzle, each one leading you closer to understanding yourself. You might not always see it in the moment, but the universe is always guiding you, even through the pain. Every step, even the difficult ones, is leading you to a deeper connection with your true self. You see, the pain you've experienced is not punishment. It's a catalyst. It's not meant to break you, it's meant to build you. And when you start to embrace that truth, when you stop resisting the darkness and start accepting it as part of who you are, that's when the magic happens. That's when you begin to transform. In your own life, how many times have you thought something was an obstacle, only to look back and realize it was an opportunity in disguise? That job loss, that breakup, that time you felt completely lost, all of those moments served a higher purpose. They might have felt impossible at the time, but they were necessary. They were your awakening. Now, imagine what could happen if you embraced your shadow fully. What if, instead of fighting against the difficulties, you allowed them to teach you? What if you gave yourself permission to feel every emotion without shame or judgment? What if you believed that nothing was truly random and that every piece of your life had a purpose, even if you didn't understand it yet? I want you to take another deep breath and let that sink in. Can you see how every part of you, the light and the dark, has been leading you to this moment of understanding? Can you see how, by accepting all that you are, you can finally step into your power? I know this might feel like a lot to process, especially if you're in a moment of deep pain right now. But I promise you, the journey to self-discovery is worth it. The universe is never as chaotic as it seems. The pieces of your life are all coming together, and in time, you'll see that every single moment was leading you exactly where you needed to go. You know, there's a strange kind of beauty in the pain that we try so desperately to avoid. It's like a storm that seems terrifying, powerful, and unpredictable. But when it passes, it leaves the air fresh, the sky clearer, and the world somehow changed. Pain has that ability. It forces us to grow. It forces us to evolve into the people we were always meant to be. But in order to experience that transformation, we must first embrace it, not run from it. I can already hear the doubts in your mind. How can pain be beautiful? How can the things I've lost, the relationships that broke me, the dreams that didn't come true, possibly be a source of growth? And I understand. It's hard to believe in the beauty of pain when you're in the midst of it, when everything feels like it's falling apart, and it seems like nothing will ever make sense again. But let me ask you this. Have you ever gone through a period of your life that seemed unbearable in the moment, only to look back and realize it was the best thing that could have happened to you? Maybe you weren't able to see it then, but now you understand. The pain, the loss, the heartbreak, it changed you in a way that nothing else could have. Jung had this incredible way of seeing things that most of us are too afraid to face. He believed that we are all on a journey of becoming whole. And the only way to become whole is by accepting every part of ourselves, including the painful, imperfect parts. When we try to push those parts away, we push away our power. But when we learn to sit with that pain, to learn from it, we begin to unlock a strength that we never knew existed. So let me tell you this, your pain is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of resilience. It's a testament to your ability to survive, to heal, and to rise again. And with every layer of pain you peel away, a more authentic version of you emerges. A version that's stronger, wiser, and more aligned with who you truly are. Think about the times in your life when you felt most broken. Maybe it was a relationship that ended, a dream that shattered, or a moment when you thought you couldn't go on. In those moments, it probably felt like everything was falling apart, like you were losing pieces of yourself. But what if, in reality, those pieces were never yours to begin with? What if they were just things you had clung to, things that were never meant to be part of your true self? Jung called this process individuation. It's the journey of becoming the person you are meant to be. It's not an easy journey. In fact, it's one of the most difficult things you'll ever do, but it's also one of the most rewarding. And the reason it's so challenging is because it requires you to face all the parts of you that you'd rather avoid. It asks you to confront your shadow, to acknowledge the darkness, and to love yourself anyway. So, when you're in the midst of pain, when you feel like everything is falling apart, I want you to remember this. You are in the process of becoming whole. You are in the process of discovering your true self. And just like a storm clears the air, your pain is clearing the path for something beautiful to emerge. It's not about rushing through the pain or trying to avoid it. It's about learning to sit with it, to reflect on it, and to understand that every difficult moment is teaching you something valuable. The universe is guiding you, and even in your darkest hours, it's leading you toward the light. I want you to think about where you are right now. What are the things that have broken you? What are the things that have left you feeling lost and alone? And now, ask yourself, what if this is all part of your growth? What if the very things you're afraid of are the things that are leading you to your highest potential? This is what Jung meant when he spoke of the interconnectedness of all things. Every experience, no matter how painful, is part of a larger pattern, a design that is unfolding in your life. And when you begin to see your life through this lens, you'll start to realize that nothing has been wasted. No pain, no loss, no mistake. It's all part of the story you're writing your story. I know it's hard to believe this when you're in the midst of a storm, when everything seems uncertain and the way forward feels unclear. But trust me when I say, you are exactly where you need to be. The pain you're feeling now will eventually lead you to the clarity you're seeking. And when you look back, you'll see that every single moment, every piece of your life was leading you here to this moment of understanding, to this moment of growth. So, I invite you to take a breath, to sit with the discomfort, and to trust that it's all part of the process. Trust that nothing happens by chance, that everything you've been through is leading you to a place of greater understanding. And when you finally emerge from the storm, you'll be amazed at the strength, wisdom, and beauty that you've discovered within yourself. Have you ever felt like you've been standing still for far too long, caught in a loop of endless reflection, trying to make sense of everything? It's like you're searching for a sign, some kind of answer, yet nothing comes. It's easy to get caught in the cycle of wanting to understand everything, why things happened the way they did, why you've experienced certain things, why the universe seems to throw obstacles in your path. And for a long time, you might have been waiting for a clear, obvious sign that would answer all your questions. But the truth is, that sign might already be right in front of you. Jung believed that life is not about waiting for things to happen by chance. He understood that life has a way of guiding us toward growth. But the real challenge is learning how to see the signs and trust them. And that's the hard part, because the answers aren't always loud, and they don't always come when we expect them. Sometimes, they're hidden in the quietest of moments, in the pause between your thoughts, the silence of your heart when you finally allow yourself to rest. I know you've been through a lot. Maybe there was a moment when you lost everything, or a time when you felt utterly alone, and you couldn't make sense of why you were in that place. It felt like a punishment, a cruel twist of fate, and you couldn't understand what you were supposed to learn from it. I know how hard that is, but let me tell you this. The answers don't always come right away. The universe doesn't always speak in clear, unmistakable ways. Sometimes, the signs are subtle, like a whisper in the dark that you almost miss. The truth is, you've been on the path all along. Jung would say that the soul has its own timing, that it will take you through the lessons you need to learn, even when you don't understand why. It's the hidden wisdom within the challenges you face that you can't see yet, and it's okay to not have all the answers right now. What's important is that you keep going, that you keep trusting the process, even when it feels uncertain, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Because what happens when you stop resisting? What happens when you stop trying to force answers and just allow yourself to be where you are, trusting that everything will unfold in its own time? It's not about rushing to the finish line, about figuring everything out all at once. It's about showing up, being present, and allowing your journey to unfold as it was meant to. Think about it. How many times in your life has something seemed like the end, only to lead you to a new beginning? How many moments have you thought you couldn't go on, but somehow found the strength to keep moving forward? Those are the signs, the whispers, the synchronicities that Jung spoke of. They are there, hidden in plain sight, guiding you toward what you need. You might not be able to see it yet, but the pieces of your life are falling into place. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every disappointment, they are all part of the plan. You may not have all the clarity you wish for right now, but trust that you are on the right path. The universe is always working in your favor, even when it feels like everything is spinning out of control. Jung said that the soul will always find a way to express itself, and that includes through the challenges and the difficulties we face. These are not signs of failure. They are opportunities for growth, for learning, for deepening your connection to your true self. The very things that have hurt you, the experiences that have shaken you to your core, are the things that will shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more in tune with your purpose. And when you finally reach the other side, when you step into the next phase of your life, you'll look back and realize that you didn't need to understand everything in the moment. What you needed was to trust. To trust that, even in the darkest times, there was always a light pulling you forward. That even in the pain, there was a purpose, a lesson, a gift waiting to be discovered. And when you embrace that truth, you'll begin to see the beauty of your journey, the way everything fits together, even the broken pieces. It's not about waiting for some grand dramatic sign. It's about recognizing the quiet moments, the subtle shifts, the tiny steps forward. Every day you take a breath. Every day you keep moving. Even when you don't have all the answers, that is the sign. That is the message from the universe. You are on the right path. You are exactly where you need to be. I want you to think about where you are right now, in this moment. Can you see the signs, the little nudges that have been there all along guiding you? You may not understand them fully yet, and that's okay. You don't need to. What you need to do is trust. Trust that every single thing in your life has led you to this point for a reason. Trust that your story is unfolding in exactly the way it was meant to, even when it doesn't make sense. There's a certain kind of magic that happens when you stop trying to control the world around you. It's like stepping into the flow of life, letting go of the need to figure everything out, and instead, simply allowing yourself to be carried by something much bigger than yourself. For so long, you might have fought against the current, wanting to dictate your path, to have all the answers now, to understand why things didn't work out the way you planned. But what if, in this very moment, you stopped resisting? What if you trusted that everything you've been through is part of something greater, and that everything will come together at the right time? I know it sounds like a leap of faith, doesn't it? To let go of the grip you have on life, to surrender to the unknown, to trust that the universe will provide what you need. But here's the thing. What if the very thing that's been holding you back, the thing that's been causing you so much stress, is your constant need to control? What if the fear of not knowing is what's been keeping you stuck? Carl Jung said that when we stop trying to control everything and instead allow ourselves to be guided by the unconscious mind, we tap into something powerful, a deeper wisdom that knows exactly where we need to go. He called this process individuation. It's the journey of becoming the person you were always meant to be. And it's not something you can force. It's something that unfolds gradually, naturally, as you learn to trust the journey. I know it's not easy to let go of the need for certainty, especially when life feels unpredictable and filled with doubt. It's hard to accept that things might not happen on your timeline. But trust me when I say that there's a beauty in the unknown. There's a beauty in stepping into the uncertainty with faith, in believing that even when you don't have the answers, you are still being guided. When you surrender control, when you stop trying to force the pieces to fit, that's when life starts to flow. That's when the magic happens. It's like planting a seed. You can't control the soil or the rain, but you can trust that with the right conditions, that seed will grow into something beautiful. The same is true for you. You are that seed. You are already on the path to becoming who you are meant to be. All you have to do is trust the process and allow it to unfold, even when it feels like it's not happening fast enough. What if I told you that everything you've been through, the heartache, the loss, the struggle, has been part of your growth? What if it's not punishment, but rather preparation? The universe isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. And the sooner you stop fighting the process, the sooner you allow yourself to surrender to the flow of life, the sooner you'll find peace. I know you might be thinking, but what about the things I can't control? What about the dreams I've lost or the relationships that fell apart? How can I trust that there's a reason for all of that? Here's the thing. You may never fully understand the why behind every heartbreak, every disappointment, but that doesn't mean they were meaningless. Even in the toughest moments, there's always something to learn, always something that shapes you into a stronger, wiser person. Every single experience is a lesson, whether you realize it at the time or not. You've survived every single one of your hardest days. That in itself is proof of your strength. You've already come so far, and you're stronger than you think. So, instead of questioning every step, instead of worrying about what's next or why things happened the way they did, what if you just allowed yourself to rest in the knowing that everything will make sense in time? This is the lesson that Jung wanted us to learn. The power of trust. Trust that the universe is working with you, not against you. Trust that every step, every challenge, every tear you've shed has been part of your growth. And as you begin to trust this process, you will start to feel the weight lift off your shoulders. You will start to feel lighter, freer, as if the world is no longer fighting against you but moving with you. When you let go, you create space for the new opportunities, new relationships, new experiences that will take you even further on your journey. And as you walk forward with trust in your heart, you will begin to see the signs, the synchronicities that have always been there, guiding you. You'll see the beauty in every moment, even the painful ones, and understand that they were all part of your journey. Take a moment right now, wherever you are, and reflect. Can you see the moments of guidance in your life? The people who showed up at the right time, the experiences that changed your perspective, the quiet nudges that led you to where you are now. They were never random. They were the universe's way of pulling you forward. They were always meant to be. Jung said, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart." And that's what I want to leave you with today. Trust that everything is unfolding perfectly for you. Trust that, even in the hardest moments, there's a higher purpose at play. And trust that as you let go, you'll be guided toward the life you've always been meant to live. If this message resonates with you, if you're ready to release the need for control and embrace the flow of life, I invite you to subscribe, share, and like this video. Let's continue this journey together, trusting that each step is leading us closer to the truth.